Live from the entertainment capital of the world, Doug Basham.
Hey guys, Doug Basham here. My website is DougBasham.com. My email, Doug@DougBasham.com. I want to recall a few events that occurred both before this year's election and after. Before, the decision by the owners of both the LA Times and the Washington Post to kill their paper's intent to publish their endorsement of Kamala Harris. After, first, Joe and Mika, the co-host of MSNBC's Morning Joe, traveling to Mar-a-Lago to make nice with Trump. Second, the decision by both Facebook and Amazon to each donate $1 million to Trump's inauguration. And third and finally, and the one we're going to focus on today, ABC's decision to settle Trump's defamation case against them for $15 million that will allegedly go towards Trump's eventual library. Man, that's a lot of coloring books. And if you haven't heard the story, it all centered around an interview on ABC's This Week back in March of this year with host George Stephanopoulos and guest Nancy Mace. Stephanopoulos called Trump a rapist, and the orange rapist took umbrage with that. Yes, he was found liable for sexual abuse, but the judge in that case, Lewis Kaplan, wrote in a subsequent ruling, quote, "The finding that Miss Carroll failed to prove that she was raped within the meaning of the New York penal law does not mean that she failed to prove that Mr. Trump raped her, as many people commonly understand the word rape. Indeed, as the evidence at trial recounted below makes clear, the jury found that Mr. Trump, in fact, did exactly that." End quote. Apparently, rapists hate being called rapists and much prefer sexual abusers, because that's so much better. In any case, what ABC did was an abomination, and the notable part is they settled this case just one day after a magistrate judge ordered Trump and Stephanopoulos to sit for depositions next week. And what is notable about that is that's usually when Trump drops one of his myriad frivolous lawsuits. When he sued his former attorney, fixer and goon Michael Cohen for $500 million, when he was told he had to sit for a deposition, he dropped the case. ABC should have rolled their eyes and laughed when this case was brought back in March, and I'm sure they did. So what changed? Why would ABC agree to pay this grifter $15 million, one, given that Trump was likely to drop the case, and two, given that ABC was likely to win the case even if Trump didn't drop it? It was a typically stupid and frivolous Trumpy lawsuit in the first place. So what changed? The answer's simple. Trump won the election. And why would that change ABC's mind? Let me answer the question this way. Timothy Snyder is an American historian, a professor of history at Yale University, and a permanent fellow at the Institute for Human Sciences in Vienna. He is the author of several books, including this one titled On Tyranny, Lessons from the 20th Century, in which he analyzes what he calls America's turn towards authoritarianism. This book is essentially a guide for surviving and resisting this turn. And as you can see, it's a pocket-sized book, 125 pages long, and the very first chapter is titled, quote, "Do not obey in advance." Let me read the intro to this chapter. Quote, "Most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do." End quote. ABC knew that they were likely to win this case if Trump didn't drop it. But you see, that would have angered the already infuriated dictator in waiting just as much as if he had lost the case in court. And just for good measure, Trump sent this message a few days ago.
And I feel I have to do this. I shouldn't really be the one to do it. It should have been the Justice Department or somebody else, but I have to do it. It costs a lot of money to do it, but we have to straighten out the press. Our press is very corrupt, almost as corrupt as our elections.
And so, what did ABC do? They obeyed in advance. They did their part to hold the door open and help usher fascism into America. And shame on them. And because they call themselves a news organization, double shame on them. They obeyed in advance. And do they honestly believe that Trump's going to, leave them alone now? Nonsense. The first time they report some damning truth about him, if indeed they even do, he'll attack them even more mercilessly than before. And hasn't ABC watched any of their crime shows? They should know, if you pay a blackmailer once, you're letting them know their scare tactics worked, and you will end up paying them again, either in cash or maybe in this case, less critical reporting perhaps. And just for the record, ABC is owned by Disney. That's who will be paying the $15 million. And you know who one of the biggest shareholders of Disney stock is? Fox News owner Rupert Murdoch. Small world, folks. And the worst part, who knows how many other quote-unquote news organizations will bend the knee, kiss the ring, capitulate to Trump's fascist threats, and obey in advance. Please go to my website, DougBasham.com, and I would be grateful if you'd click on all of my social media links and subscribe, follow, like, comment, all that good stuff. But if you can only do one, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And most importantly, please share and repost my commentaries. We're all in this together, folks, and anything we can do to help each other only helps our nation. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take care.